SpaceX Starlink has a brand new kit available. Let's check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. So good. That smokiness of the lap song. Love it. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a technology spacey day. We're going to be talking about SpaceX and Starlink, and they just introduced a brand new kit. And I want to make you aware of it. This might be something that you may be interested in. It's going to be a little bit more powerful and focused towards the business or enterprise class. It's actually called Enterprise Kit. Since we got the information just recently, it's going to be once again a moving target. I believe that everything that we give you today is going to be 100% accurate, but if it's slightly off, you know why. Once again, this is breaking news. So I want to get into this article. It was actually from PC Magazine. I think it was the UK. But before I do, I want to say that if you enjoy this content, like I always say, throw the video a thumbs up. That is so helpful. You don't even understand. It is very helpful. Also, comment down below. I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Is this something that you're interested in? Are you not? If you don't want to comment, just throw an emoji down there. Throw a poop emoji or whatever makes you happy. Throw any type of emoji down there, just so I know that you're listening. Also, if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, check them out. They are free. Go to JCristina.com/books. And if you want more Starlink content like this, I'll put a link over here. Click on that, not yet. Click on that when you're done watching this video, and you'll be able to find about 310 videos just on SpaceX Starlink so far that I've created in the last 38 months. All right. Helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to do, what not to do, what to buy, when to buy it, what to buy, and most importantly, the why behind everything, because this channel has always been about the why. And if you want to say thank you for all of my hard work, there's a little thank you button. You can click on that, give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, that's perfectly fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. So now that all the housekeeping is done, let's jump right into this article. And then once again, I'll give you my commentary, and I want to hear from you after down below in the comment area. It starts out by saying SpaceX will expand sales of its recently released version 4 Starlink dish from consumers to businesses. The Starlink Enterprise Kit, that's what it's called, the Enterprise Kit, appears to feature the same hardware as the version 4 Starlink dish, which the company began selling to US customers late last year. One major difference is the price, and it is definitely major. The Starlink Enterprise Kit is $999. It's called $1,000 US, significantly more than the customer-focused version 4 dish, which goes for $499 or less. We have seen it actually at $399 and even $349. So let's call it $500. This is going to be double. Keep that in mind. The enterprise hardware also requires a subscription to Starlink's pricier service plan for business, which starts at $140 per month. Matter of fact, this is what it looks like. So if you were to go in here and let's say go to the page, now don't look at this address, someone just put that in over there at PC Magazine. But as we can see right around here, let me see if we can zoom in a little bit. Enterprise, $999. Flat high performance, $2,500, and then the standard here for $499. But check this out, pipe adapter. You see these right here? Pivot mount, wall mount, all say 000. We'll get into that in just a second. And then of course we have priority data, 40 gigabytes, which is at $140 per month. You have priority for 1 terabyte of data, that's $250. And then priority data for 2 terabytes, which is $500 a month. Now, bear in mind here, this is once again a business class plan. This is called Enterprise for a reason. And I don't know what that reason is just yet, but we're going to go through this article and then I'm going to give you my speculation of what's going on here. And it might not be something for you just yet, but it might be something for you in the not so distant future. And I'll tell you why. Now, The article continues, according to the spec sheet, the Enterprise Kit does not include the bundled Wi-Fi 6 router, instead requires business customers to use their own. This is what goes on most of the time in business anyways. You're not going to use a router that comes from the company. You're going to use a high-end router to be able to do all of your enterprise or corporate work, right? They're just simply more secure, and you have more availability, more functionality to be able to stop certain things from happening. Anyways, we're not going to get into all of the system administrator stuff that goes into it, but trust me, you're going to want to use your own router if you're running a business anyways. So they do not offer one. You do not get it with this kit. It continues, but on a plus side, the Enterprise Kit comes with a far longer 50-meter cable. That's like, 164 feet or somewhere right on there, rather than the mere 15-meter cable, giving the buyer more room to install the dish at a building or outdoor area. In addition, the Enterprise Kit includes a more powerful high-performance power supply. This is going to be important, I'll tell you in a minute, which is twice the weight as the normal power supply of a version 4 consumer-focused dish. The same high-performance power supply also includes an Ethernet port. And buying the Enterprise Kit gives the buyer access to a choice of one mount free of cost. It's not really free of cost when you're paying $1,000 for the whole kit. Anyways, SpaceX is selling the new Enterprise Kit through Starlink.com, first for U.S. customers, according to the support document entry. Quote, the Starlink Enterprise Kit will expand to other markets over time. However, we do not have an estimated date to provide at this time, the support page adds. News about the Starlink Enterprise Kit initially came from Tim Belful, a director of a UK-based West End Wi-Fi, which performs installs of Starlink hardware. Although the $999 cost may seem like a price hike, it's actually a decrease if you consider SpaceX's high-performance Starlink dish for businesses goes for $2,500, he noted. Well, I don't really agree with that because that's $1,500 more, but you're actually getting a high-performance dish. Here, you're getting a standard dish, but a high-performance PoE injector. I'll get into that in just a second. So I don't see it as of yet, but I might. Just hang in there. Quote, the new Enterprise Kit is significant in that it brings high performance speeds at an affordable cost, Belford said on LinkedIn. Obviously, the question is why not just use a standard kit? I have to assume that the increased power delivery and service tweaks will ensure that Enterprise outperforms the normal standard hardware. An assumption. The new hardware also arrives as SpaceX has filed an FCC request to increase the power delivery over the version 4 Starlink dish to help improve the broadband speeds. So it's possible that the FCC filing could be related to the Enterprise Kit. Now, you guys know I did a whole piece just on that alone, where SpaceX requested from the FCC more power. It was like, more power, Scotty. I need more power. Give me Warp 9. Right? Star Trek. So I think that this could be the case. I think that that additional power might not just be for the lower end or the standard consumer-based dish, but this enterprise dish for certain. And the reason being is they're talking about this power brick being twice the weight. It is a heavier brick. It's going to produce more power. Matter of fact, let's switch over to my screen. Now, this is what you would see if you went over to SpaceX Starlink's website and then went to the Enterprise tab. That is if the Enterprise tab is available to you. Once again, it is only available in the US. Only certain people are getting it, so this is what it looks like. Now, if we come down here, we don't have to read through everything, but I want to show you something that I think is important. You have the dish, and of course, you have your power supply. It is bigger and heavier, twice the weight, let's say. And then you have this nice little power supply mount, so you can mount it on the wall somewhere. What you need to understand is this power supply is actually not just a power supply, it is a PoE injector. What is PoE anyways? PoE is power over Ethernet. What that does is it gets the power and then pushes it through an Ethernet cable. Now, if we just go down here, this is the cables that come along with it. I'll get back to that in just a second. If we just come down to the bottom, this is what the back of that power brick looks like. You see it says enterprise and it says power and then network. What this means is the middle one is your power, which you're going to plug in just like normal. Enterprise is actually the cable that goes out to the dish, that 164-foot cable. That's what gets plugged into the enterprise slot there. Then next to it, you have a network slot. That is where you're going to plug in your router, the business class router, whichever one that you choose. If we go up to the top, the reason I know that is if we go here to what is included, we can see that we have this enterprise cable, once again for that enterprise slot, which is 50 meters or 164 feet. We can see that right here. Next to that, you can see you have your AC cable, which is 6 foot, and then you have another 16.5-foot Ethernet cable. That's a standard Ethernet cable. This cable, the enterprise cable, will have power in it. So once again, it's going to take through this device, power coming in, and then it's going to feed not only internet or data through this enterprise port, but it'll also feed the power. Once again, PoE, power over Ethernet. You're getting both data and power through this single cable, and that cable is 164 feet long. So chances are it's going to need more power anyways to get that distance and not have any type of drop off. So this is really, really important for moving forward as an enterprise class device. You need something that is slightly more powerful, and that's what you're getting. And they are removing, once again, that router because you're not going to need it because you're going to use your own. For me, I'm using the PepLink. I'm getting a very expensive router, and I'm going to use that, especially if I'm bonding multiple connections together as I do. So you're going to buy something like that and not use the generic that comes along with it if you are an enterprise or business class customer. Now, the way I see this is, as of right now, this is really not going to be that big of a deal. You're going to be paying a lot of money, let's say $1,000 for this kit. You're not going to get a router. You're basically going to get a longer cable, and they're going to give you a free mount. You pick the mount, whichever one you want. And that's really about it. So I don't see it as of right now, but like they were saying at the end of this article, and I agree with 110%, is as they asked for that FCC approval for more power, Scotty, give me more power, warp 9, right? They will probably use that with this enterprise dish, and they will probably also use it with their corporate dish, their bigger dish, their business dish, which costs $2,500. Now, like he was saying as well, it's, the price is right because the corporate dish or the business class dish, the bigger dish, which is like 22 by 21, it's almost square, a big one, I call it the big ass dish, that one is $2,500. This one is $1,000. But it is still the standard size. So you're not getting more antennae, let's say, inside of the dish. You're not getting better rain fade. For example, with the big dish, you get less rain fade, obviously, because it's larger. So you're getting a little bit better, let's say, service with that larger dish for $2,500. With this, you're going to get the same service unless they somehow amp it up. How do they amp it up? Maybe by allowing more signal to be sent through this dish once the FCC approves the additional power. So until then, I think that it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, is it a great start? Yes. Is it going to be great like down the road? Yes, I do believe so. But I think it's going to be a few weeks or maybe a few months until the FCC gives the approval, and then SpaceX turns up the volume on these specific dish like the corporate class or this enterprise class dish. And at that point, I get it. And by having a larger power supply, you're going to be able to now bring in that higher capacity or that more amps, or really it's more decibels, and be able to broadcast that and receive it easier, obviously with more power. And you're going to be able to push that PoE or the power over Ethernet further. So 164 feet won't be a problem. Whereas if you had the smaller, less powerful injector, right, you're going to maybe have a problem at 150, 164 feet. Maybe you won't, but maybe you will. You might have some drop off. With this, you won't. Obviously, they have tested it. If not, they wouldn't be selling this longer cable with it. So all in all, I think that this is great news, especially if you are a corporate class, a business class user. But remember, like we read, you're going to be paying $140 for the minimal service. And then if you want a terabyte of priority data, you're going to be paying $250 a month. And if you want 2 terabytes of data, priority data, you're going to be paying $500 a month for that. And then if you exhaust that amount, of course, you can pay per gigabyte after, or it will just simply slow you down to normal speeds instead of priority speeds until the month is over, and then you'll be back on the faster speed. So it's completely up to you. Once again, I think that this is great. I don't think it's, let's say, there yet, but it will be. This is my thought. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. What do you think? Is it something that you're interested in? Is this something that you would buy? Is it something that you think that a lot of people will be looking into? Do you think that the price is right, or do you think the price is wrong? The price for that dish being $1,000 as of right now, just with a free mount, is wrong. All right. But moving forward, it might be right depending on the speed. Once again, depending on the FCC and other factors. In my personal opinion, I think that the larger dish is just a better way to go if you want a business class service, because you're not only going to get faster speeds, but you're also going to get that, let's say, less rain fade. And rain fade is definitely a thing when it comes to anything that is satellite based, right? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, throw the video a thumbs up. That would be so helpful. I would really appreciate it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the many years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. Check out my tees, check out my book, my shirts. Matter of fact, this one is online. Pick something up. I would really appreciate it. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.